What's the latest with the FASB and the AICPA? This is IssuesWatch podcast. Hello, and welcome to IssuesWatch podcast. I'm Brad Muniz, your host for the bi-weekly accounting and auditing episodes. I'm a partner in charge of accounting and auditing with Sobel & Company. A quick disclaimer, the views and statements expressed herein are my own and not necessarily those of NJCPA or Sobel & Company. So, I started off a little bit slow today because that's the way it's been going this past summer. The AICPA, the FASB have really not been issuing a lot. They haven't had a lot of meetings, obviously, because it's the summer. So I anticipate that when they start coming back to after breaks and things start clearing up with everything that's going on, we'll see a lot more content coming out from them and issues that we have to focus on. But that doesn't mean I don't have information to provide to you of what you should be looking into and other smaller items that they've been releasing lately. So, as it relates to the FASB issued a proposed technical and other conforming improvements for 2022 SEC reporting and taxonomy with a technical guide. I just love that word taxonomy. I really don't know what it means completely, but I see that all the time, and I think tax, and I turn off. But in reality, what it focuses on a lot of times is a connection between different things in different areas. This guide that they presented, which you can obtain through the links by Googling it, relates a lot to their a guide for XBRL. XBRL is a process for SEC companies to present information so that readers of their financial information can drill down further and further into information. So that is a very high level discussion on taxonomy and XBRL. If you do deal in the SEC world, I'm sure that you are familiar with XBRL and the taxonomy as it relates to everything that connects it all. But if you don't and you're considering getting involved in it, this is an area that came out, I'd say probably around a dozen years ago, that they started focusing on the accountant's relation to either preparing or being involved in testing the information that you're drilling down to. It's really quite interesting, and it provides the reader of financial statements with useful information. As it relates to leases, they came out with more information on leases. A good article that they brought up that's saying the leases is coming again soon. If you're going to probably hear me talk about this at almost every session because it is coming in January 1 for calendar years, January 1, 2022. So it's important that we start focusing on this. The FASB had an article saying that you have to consider the pandemic effect. So companies that have modified their leases, shrunk their space, abandoned areas, receive free rent, you're going to have to really take that into consideration. They discussed the implementation, including the comments on software. Now, most people, including some people in my office, say, hey, you could just use Excel, it's easy. Yeah, maybe with one lease it's easy, but I will tell you that I tried to work with a client on adopting this early with 2 leases. We used Excel and manual errors picked up the wrong row to make the journal entry. So there is software out there. I'm not going to promote any of the particular softwares. Our firm is evaluating the different softwares right now, but I recommend that you look into them. If you have any questions, feel free to give me a call. Finally, the FASB does have a meeting on September 15th, or had a meeting on September 15th to discuss, in particular, the discount rate for non-public entities. So they are meeting about this, and they also have a meeting on nonprofit reporting, too, that happened on September 14th. Okay. AICPA, the Center for Audit Quality, issued information about illegal acts, the external auditor's responsibility. So I know that it's on most of the checklists, about illegal acts, and everybody checks off no that they haven't identified any illegal acts. But what happens when you have an illegal act? You should know what your responsibility of an auditor is to do if you've identified an illegal act. Does it have a material effect on the financial statement? Could it have a material effect on a financial statement? And what your responsibilities are either way. So the AICPA, the Center for Audit Quality, with the AICPA, issued a nice little document. It's only around 5 pages. And if you're in auditor, and even if you're in industry, you should look into this and see what the auditor's responsibility is. It's only 5 pages, pretty easy read through. One of the things that if you have the opportunity, I recommend that you sign up for AICPA ethics meetings, not for yourself to go, but to hear about what they discuss about at the ethics committee level. And one of the things I found out years ago, and I just love the phrase, I like to bring to everybody's attention, it's called NOCLAR. NOCLAR. That's nonconformance with laws and regulations. You will see it if you're in an auditor, you will see it on some certain checklists. I was doing a peer review last night, and one of the softwares that they were particularly using has a question right on there. Have you identified any items that relate to NOCLAR? So nonconformance with laws and regulations. And it's really important. We deal with employee benefit plans. And one of the people in my office was saying, I don't think it's an issue. And I said, well, if they're not operating in conformance with the plan document, are they not in conformance with laws and regulations thereby? So it's something that the AICPA focuses on, and it's something that you should just become familiar with. Again, pick up a copy of that guide. If you can attend the ethics meetings, they are very, very interesting. You get to hear what they're coming out with, what they're considering coming out with down the road, because it's going to affect every CPA in public or in industry. Okay, the big change that the AICPA wants to remind you about is that there's significant changes to EBP audits. So those people that think that EBP audits are easy, they shouldn't cost much money, whatever you want to say about it, is a significant change, and particularly as it relates to the report. The old limited scope, and Frank Boudelet will tell you the story that he was listening to somebody talk who said that they didn't do an audit because it was limited scope. It says right in the beginning, we have audited the blah, 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 blah. There's a disclaimer of opinion because of it's a limited scope. Now that I just taught you all of that, or we just talked about all of that, that's for this year. Effective next year, SAS 136 comes out, and they're getting rid of limited scope. Even in the reference to in the report, it will be ERISA section 103, parentheses A, parentheses 3, parentheses C. I don't know how the people in the EBP realm are going to be referencing it. For years, we've been referencing them as limited scope, and it's been nice and easy. I don't know how we're going to reference it. I'm going to listen to what the people at the Society Resource Group say about it when they start coming up their lingo. But there is significant change to the auditor's report, as in addition to there's change of many reports, a review report that's coming out in general, but the audit report as relates to the EBP in particular is significant change. They're trying to create more transparency, trying to create what you focus your report on, et cetera. So I recommend that you look into this. There have been seminars that have been on this. Check to see if there's anything on the Society site for information of previous seminars. I know that the Society has an EBP conference around May. Now, it might be a little bit late for some people that will have started audits or have gotten out their engagement letters, but I do encourage you to go through, check out those sessions. So those are the main topics that we're going to hit today. Again, there was not a lot of information coming out. I'm hoping that there's more information coming out to keep you interested in what we're talking about. I'm sure that there will be more. So, in closing, I encourage all NJCPA members involved in A&A, industry or public, to join the Accounting and Auditing Standards Interest Group. Go to njcpa.org/groups to sign up. There are a few upcoming events at the NJCPA I want to let you know about. On September 30th, there's a panel presentation, What CPAs Need to Know About ESG. Remember, I talked about ESG last session, and trust me, CPAs need to know about ESG. Chris Schiffer, who's a great guy, is going to be moderating it. I recommend you listen into that. There's also a pair of 4 credit webinars on September 28th. The morning program is on interpreting new revenue recognition, and the afternoon focuses on, leases and the accounting requirements. Both programs are taught by NJCPA member Renee Rampula. Then on September 29th, Renee will be teaching a full day accounting and auditing update for businesses. I mean, she's really smart, but she's going to go crazy teaching all this. Wow. Yeah, Renee is great. She's unbelievable what she knows. Listen to those sessions. Register for these events and other events at njcpa.org/events. Thank you for joining us. We will be back with new A&A episode in 2 weeks. You can access all IssuesWatch podcasts, including Jeff and Don, at njcpa.org/IssuesWatch. Thank you.